Vera, se viene Vera, Vera y el centro al segundo palo. ¡Oh! Out of context. Goal!
Oh no, what a shit, an own goal tagged. Now bit, I didn't mean to. Alright, so you say that the deed's been done then? Absolutely, boss. Don't have to worry about that. Breaking news here. A serious investigation into match fixing going on here. We said make sure he ODs, not score an OG. You said you wanted it to be a clean hit. Yeah, like a hit, man. You kill and hit the target. But I did hit the target. Did you not see the own goal? I swear to the heavens, bro. Yo guys, it is your boy Nirin here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is a series where it brings you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days for what's been kicking off in the world this week. Well, it's been a bad 7 days for crypto fans after some people lost millions on one particular coin called Luna.
Should we have spent so heavily in the past? Probably not, but we lived the dream.
KSIs went from almost £3 million to worth £1,000 in the biggest fall of an Olatunji since, well, any fight Deji's been involved in. Something once worth multiple millions, virtually now worth nothing. And that's just Dele Alli's recent career. So here we are in sunny North London to see our next property. Now, this one is great if you want to avoid European affairs. The locals are absolutely lovely.
Fuck off, yeah? Simple as blood. Get the fuck out the club, blood.
And it even provides minimal threat within the area. And with your recent antics, Rob Holding, you want to escape from the country. It was a week that started off with so much promise for Arsenal, except that it didn't, as they lost in an all-important, vital for top 4 aspirations North London derby against Tottenham.
Well, you just knew that was going to happen.
No giving up. Let's keep fighting, boy. Goal for Tottenham, scored by Son. Harry Kane and co put themselves firmly back in the top 4 hunt with this unreal performance, but they were helped majorly by a first half red card for Rob Holding. This man had a brain transplant as well, bro. We've got live scenes of Rob marking literally anybody here. You don't have to actually hold the man, Rob. At least he was there on the bench trying to motivate his teammates from the sideline. But if we're being honest, Gabriel's hairline was the sharpest thing in this Arsenal defence. Hector Bellerin played his final game on loan for Real Betis and ended it in tears, knowing that he's having to come back to this place. Arsenal dinner ladies are preparing some more poisoned lasagna as we speak. Tottenham fans were even chanting Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. How do you have a chant confiscated from you? If we're being totally honest, Tottenham did overpower Arsenal here, but Heung-min Son, count yourself lucky, because this elbow in the first half definitely should have been looked at. Off the back of this though, and all Arsenal had to do was compose themselves and go again, which of course is exactly why they then lost 2-0 to Newcastle in the following fixture.
We're back in it! We're back in it! You know, we're back in it, you twats! Oh, for fuck's sake!
They were in such good form up until April. What even went wrong here? Newcastle aren't bad anymore, let's not get it twisted. But at least look like you're trying to get Champions League football. Mikel Arteta remembers the Bayern Munich slapping days and he doesn't want to go back there. So he has now got to explain to the board how he's taken Arsenal from the Europa League to the Europa League.
As I promise, like, and even it's been a week.
Former Arsenal fan TV member Troops was fuming.
You should fucking walk home from Newcastle. You should walk back to London. You fucking don't care. You don't care. You don't like Henry. You don't like Vieira. You don't care. You don't get it.
Tottenham even liked the tweet, confirming that Arsenal had lost the game here against Newcastle. It's a shithousery award for the Spurs admin. Alexander Lacazette's head looks like it's been in the shower for 3 days. How's your scalp built like a thumb? Modjo Jojo looking at. This Arsenal documentary just needs to be called Nothing or Nothing, bro. At least the audio guy's got something to bop to when Rob Holding starts rapping at halftime. Ben White, look, listen, I know you didn't watch football before, but please start watching it now. Callum Wilson knocked out half of his gum during this one, and Arsenal still looked more toothless. That tooth is a visual representation of Arsenal's Champions League hopes here. Ant and Deck were in attendance and celebrated with the Newcastle players at full time. Arsenal, it isn't you. It's such a missed opportunity for Arsenal here. Tottenham are in great form, I hear that, but they had a huge head start on them, and everybody else has been faltering around them.
I don't promote the violence, but many people need like some good slap right now in this club.
Now at Wembley, and there were FA Cup celebrations for Liverpool, as our fans were playing with more fire than an N-Dubs reunion. Liverpool kept their quadruple hopes alive with yet another cup final win over Chelsea. Honestly, I don't know how this one ended 0-0 again. The shot taking in this game was quite frankly reckless and outrageous. Alisson and Mendy were just watching strikes fly past them. It's like everyone was playing in plimsolls. There was early concern though for Liverpool when Mo Salah went off injured. We can see Sergio Ramos here finding out that Mo might well miss the Champions League final.
God, I love it. I fucking love it!
He probably went off with a migraine from the sunshine. The cameraman was in all sorts of trouble and strife when we attacked in the first half. Rudiger provided some interesting defensive technique. Meanwhile, Jurgen Klopp was enjoying things. I think. Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on as a substitute, then was brought off just a few minutes later. Look, it's fine. He got his selection of pictures for his Boohoo Men campaign. That's all he needs. And so it would go to penalties, just like the Carabao Cup final. And early as Piliqueta missed gave Sadio Mane a chance to win it for Liverpool. When it's Salah from the bench. Here's Mo celebrating with the Chelsea players when Sadio missed, but Mason Mount then stepped forward and has his saved by Alisson, leaving Kostas Tsimikas to be the unlikely hero.
Liverpool's hero!
That's now 0-for-6 on Wembley finals for Mason. Chelsea are making a habit of taking FA Cup final L's as well. Chelsea, it's time to create some new tactics. These will be the scenes outside their opposition's hotel for 2023. Diogo celebrated with a Mo Salah mask. Meanwhile, Luis Diaz was a little bit too enthusiastic. James Milner was so full of joy that he was physically crying. This filter's done him dirty here. There was also some scenes as all the Liverpool players hugged a young disabled fan on the way to the trophy lift, but less wholesome scenes out on the tube between opposition fans. Almost made life difficult for ourselves in the Premier League though after going down 1-0 again, this time against Southampton. But we did come back to win at 2-1. Ralph Hasenhüttl came fancy dressed as Jurgen Klopp here. Can you not just lose 9-0 again, bro? We've got things to do. We could have genuinely lost to our under-23s in this situation after a Nathan Redmond goal. Nathan, look, listen, I've got a job for you. James Milner in a midfield three with Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones is hilarious. The man's moving like their uncle. Back in my day, Takumi Minamino struck with an equaliser here though. In the Premier League, Jurgen had to physically put out a Carabao Cup starting 11 just to make him feel more at home. Martyn Tyler seemed thrilled with the goal.
It's 1-1 and Minamino has returned to St Mary's.
Oh, could you imagine him on the final day of the season? And that is a goal. Aston Villa may well have ended, fucking hell, for fuck's sake, Man City's title hopes here. Divock Origi heard that we were struggling and was on his way to save us from disaster again. Thankfully we did win in the end, but the drama seems to have killed off Peter Crouch. And after that comeback win, we sit only 1 point behind Manchester City going into the final day. This after West Ham grabbed a 2-2 draw against the Premier League leaders. The Hammers were 2-0 up as well in this one thanks to a Jared Bowen masterclass. Declan Rice was running things in midfield, I must say, but a shocking Vladimir Soufal own goal gifted Man City a point. This is match fixing. I don't care about his nationality. There was a different kind of check involved here. One West Ham fan pointed out that Mark Noble is massive. This is actually quite small writing, to be honest. And now it all comes down to Steven Gerrard and Aston Villa on the final day. I can't wait for a 35-yard Stevie G screamer.
What a head, son! What a head!
After a heroic run in European competition, Rangers fell at the final hurdle, being beaten by Bundesliga side Frankfurt on penalties in the Europa League final. It was a great performance from Rangers, especially from the likes of Calvin Bassey and Joe Aribo. But in the end, Aaron Ramsey came off the bench to decide things for the Scottish Giants. You can take the man out of Arsenal. Former Celtic striker Moussa Dembele had no sympathy for Rangers.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Meanwhile, there were great celebrations from Frankfurt's manager. Now, in midweek, and Patrice Evra came out claiming that Manchester City's players lacked character after their capitulation in the Champions League against Real. Pep Guardiola replied saying Evra and co didn't show that same sort of character when he battered them as Barcelona manager. Yeah, it's a Housery award from Pep. You can't be saying that. There's the news that Jack Grealish has genuinely never seen a UK map before.
I had to guess where you were from. I want you to put where you're from
on this map. Originally, where you're originally from.
Where are you originally from?
Where did he think he was from? You're saying Birmingham's not a real country. There were reports of a fight between Manchester United players at their Carrington training ground this week. The squad is finally done with Scott McTominay's passion antics. Meanwhile, Ralph Rangnick's watching on harmlessly in the background. The court case involving Colleen Rooney and Rebecca Vardy has started this week, and the actual Instagram stories that Colleen used to bait out Rebecca have been revealed to the public. I'm just looking forward to Wayne and Jamie having to give evidence in court. You here for your wife or that girl that you lipsed on Snapchat? Little bit unnecessary, but Everton were on the wrong end of a dramatic 3-2 loss to Brentford, and they ended the game with 9 men. I don't know how Sky were going to indicate a third red card here. Leeds lost to Chelsea a while ago as well. The players aren't focused on winning. They just want to tackle everybody.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always!
There's genuinely at least 6 of their players in court right now. Oh, what, you lot as well? Jesse Marsh suggested he wanted his players to take inspiration with quotes from the likes of Mahatma Gandhi and Muhammad Ali. To be honest, there's quite a few that I can think of that will work here. And to be honest, it might have done the trick. They got a late draw against Brighton a few days later. Romelu Lukaku took to Instagram to pop shots at people that didn't believe in him. He's working on a diss track as we speak.
This shit is wicked on these mean streets, now.
Meanwhile, a new Sergio Aguero statue's been unveiled outside the Etihad, except it actually looks like Tony Kroos. Serious turnout here as well. At least 24 tickets sold. Meanwhile, down in the Championship playoff finals, and Forest reached Wembley with a penalty shootout win over Sheffield United, in part thanks to an unbelievable performance from goalkeeper Bryce Samba. Just think of the things that this kid could actually save. Like United's season. Okay, actually, let's not go that far. Jed Spencer's mum was loving it in celebrations. The new Championship anthem's already sorted if Forest end up going up. But there were some sour scenes at full time as one Forest fan attacked Billy Sharp, and Ollie McBurney was seen stamping on a different Forest fan as well. Meanwhile, in the other semi-final, and Huddersfield beat underdogs Luton, and the linesman in this game knew exactly what Huddersfield fans were planning. Now, in Spain, and Real Madrid have released their new home kit, all white trousers were a bold choice here. Ferland Mendy looks like he's a wicket keeper for the West Indies. It's a 6! Dani Alves' new pic on Instagram is him kissing his own mum, and it's been liked by... For crying out loud. Does this just spread through the Brazilian squad? Am I really going to have to see Casemiro lips his own arse? Sevilla qualified for the Champions League with a top 4 finish in La Liga, but there were mixed emotions for them now that they can't win the Europa League. I was hoping we'd be in the Europa League because we're Europa League merchants, you know? But no, seriously, we're very happy to be in the Champions League. Meanwhile, Atletico Madrid's Mario Hermoso managed to get a yellow card from the bench this week. I mean, most Atleti players could probably get a yellow card from the car park, so that doesn't really surprise me. Elsewhere, and multi-award-winning rapper Kendrick Lamar was videoed playing football over in Ghana. Yeah, I don't know about the technique here. Good kid, but bad kicking. In France, though, now, and there was controversy for PSG, as Idrissa Gueye avoided playing for the 2nd year in a row in a game week over in France that's designed to support the LGBT community, with sort of rainbow branding and everything like that. You can't have a name like that and be homophobic. It's just disappointing, really, isn't it? And I know the Keep X Out of Football Brigade will be in full force here, but it's important that sports try and represent marginalised groups because people from those groups are gonna get their release through football. And if we use that logic for everything, we would never talk about hard-hitting topics in, say, music or anything else other than the news, for example. Anyway, in lighter news, and we move on to fraud now, as a 4th division winger has claimed that his agent stole between 10 to 15 million euros from him. What's he done? Stolen your whole transfer fee? Lens goalkeeper Jean-Louis Leca apparently broke his finger during an argument with their goalkeeping coach, and it was a bad day at the office for this Paris FC player, missing a penalty, then getting a red card in the first half. Remember the name! In Italy, Zlatan Ibrahimovic managed to break the window of a team bus just by hitting it. For fuck's sake, he's gonna tweet about this for the next 4 years now. Lorenzo Insigne played his last game for Napoli and was presented with a trophy that is legitimately bigger than him. Serie A side Sampdoria held a funeral for their bitter rival Genoa upon their relegation to Serie B. Meanwhile, Napoli ultras, who allegedly stole their coach's car at the start of the season, put up a banner this week saying that if the boss left, they would give him back his Fiat Panda. It's not even a good car. How can you hold that to ransom? And Italy is where our first goal of the week is, because left back Theo Hernandez scored an absolutely outrageous solo goal for Milan. And our second goal of the week comes from Germany, where Rodrigo Zalazar scored from pretty much the halfway line to ensure that Schalke earned promotion back to the Bundesliga. Elsewhere in Germany, and Erling Haaland's been out clubbing upon leaving Dortmund. And there was late drama in the race to stay up, where Stuttgart scored in the 92nd minute against Köln through Wataru Endo to stay in the division. Absolute scenes there. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back, by popular demand, for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home is the story of Manchester United youth player Louis Jackson, who was in a double history lesson when he was called up for the FA Youth Cup final and still managed to get there on time. Meanwhile, there was the news that 17-year-old Blackpool forward Jake Daniels became the first active English footballer to come out as openly gay since 1990. Now, honestly, Jake, this is a massively brave step, especially for someone who is so young. And I know eventually the end goal is for you not to need to care for someone to come out as gay. It's just completely accepted and it's blessed. But it is important that this happens in a footballing sphere because there is nobody else like him right now. And it might encourage other footballers who are suppressing feelings like this to come out, and equally people who follow the sport who aren't necessarily comfortable with who they are to then take the steps to be comfortable with who they are. Porto are celebrating winning the Portuguese league, but this air cannon was a little bit unfortunate. Over in Celtic, and they're doing the same after winning the Scottish Premier League. They got the blessing of Snoop Dogg upon winning another title. Listen, I don't know either. There were huge crowds on the streets of Glasgow as Celtic fans celebrated. Mate, stick him at the back post. That's an unreal header. There wasn't just great heading technique, there was great slide tackling technique from one of the stewards as well. Meanwhile, a Japanese translator was actually given a Premier League winner's medal for his work in translating for the Japanese members of the squad. In the Netherlands, and we've got an unorthodox style of tackle here from a PSV defender. Over in Australia, and their Prime Minister has accidentally tackled a child. Nigeria's under-20s goalkeeper had some unusual antics to put off a striker from scoring a pen. Didn't really work though. Victor Wanyama was videoed wearing pretty much nothing, but apparently the story behind this was that he gave the kit to a child who travelled 7 hours to watch him play. Over in Chile, and we've got this ghost goal that was given. The ball didn't cross the line, simply hit the bar and the post as well. Listen, can we get VAR on this, please? Over in the USA, and in a cup game.
Lassiter with a certain foul, just to pull back of the shirt, and then Robinson and Dengler said something to each other. A couple of shoves there, and that, well, Robinson did have the first action with the head, and then, yeah.
Look, when that Seattle fan said fight and win, he didn't mean literally. Gremio's women's side seemed to be struggling with the concept of stepping over things in Brazil. There was an unusual guest at Piranha's latest game over in Brazil. Why the fuck has my man come here? Meanwhile, in Malaysia, and we've got this brilliant dressing room prank. Now though, for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, and for the first time in a hot second, we've got two stories coming out of this beautiful nation. First of all, tensions clearly rise when a throw-in needs to be taken over in Romania. There's then this hilarious story coming out of CFR Cluj, where a player messaged an OnlyFans model asking to pay her for services. The model then exposed him on Instagram, and Duganzic here claimed that his profile had been hacked as a response. Babes, I swear, the hacker put the nudes on my phone. Over in Northern Ireland, and Larne completed a massive comeback against Glentoran to qualify for European football, thanks to 4 goals from Ronan Hale, including 1 from the halfway line. There was some very sus defending going on between Indonesia and the Philippines this week. Alright, listen, I don't know why this guy's a mascot, but put him in the starting 11. We've got a goalkeeping howler coming from the 2nd division of US football here.
Here. Feldberg into the 18, shot right in on Hughes, but he spills it and it is a goal.
And it's not much better at Atlético Paranenses under 20s.
Se complicou com o goleiro, chegou, o João vai pintar o gol! Gol!
There was a medical miracle in the Kazakhstani 2nd division after a player who seemed to be seriously struggling injury-wise suddenly was absolutely fine upon full time. We've got a shocking excuse for cheesy chips over in Ireland at Dundalk, and in Wales we've got a screamer of a goal coming directly from a throw-in.
Chris Cathrall o Gegidfa, mae'n dafliad hir. Wel, mae'n dafliad anferthol gan Chris Cathrall.
Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now, we're kind of going with the amateur route here because this isn't really Sunday League, but it's from kids football, and honestly, this is one of the greatest, maybe accidental finishes I've ever seen. Take it away, unnamed young individual. Olivier Giroud, eat your heart out. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Poland, and Górnik rewarded their star player with a live chicken this week. These Man of the Match awards are just getting out of control here. Up in Scotland, and David Wilson has signed for Dumbarton from Albion Rovers. Doesn't seem all that bad, apart from Albion Rovers apparently had no idea that it was happening and tweeted confirming this. And finally, there's a story of Portuguese footballer Carlos Mane, who currently plays for Casiokids, and how Football Manager once literally saved his life. Apparently he used to live in a pretty rough area, and he was around with some of his friends who stood outside his house. Instead of being outside with them though, he was inside with a mate playing on Football Manager into the late hours of the night. That's when a rival gang pulled up on his friends that were stood outside and started shooting at them. Now thankfully there were no casualties, but obviously if Carlos had been down there and not playing FM, it might have been a completely different story. That though is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.